Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's lab. So today we're going to be going over the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system is pretty basic, but I just wanted to show everyone on this, 3D organ in here. I don't know if Zygote Body has a good version of this or not, but I have this 3D Organon program on my computer, and it's a good way to 3D show what the lymphatic system looks like in 3D, since we don't really have any good models in the lab for the lymphatic system. So I did include the skeletal system here with it. If we don't show the skeletal system, this is what the lymphatic system looks like overall. You can almost make out, the different body parts. The first thing I want to start with is the collecting ducts for the lymphatic system. So the collecting ducts, coming from the legs of the thigh and then up the arms and so forth. And then we have these little pockets right here. These are called lymph nodes. These are the popliteal or popliteal nodes. So if we put the knee back on, those are in the popliteal region, and those are superficial. Then right here we have inguinal lymph nodes. These are found in the hip region. Then they come up through here, and then there are some other lymph nodes as you move up through. So if you're draining all the way from the legs up, you go through multiple lymph nodes in that process. Now, this one also isn't showing all the anastomoses that occur within the lymphatic system. So there are smaller vessels connecting each one of these as well. So then all the legs drain up here. So right here, these little trunks here, there's the lumbar, a right and a left lumbar lymph trunk right here. And then we come up to this little pocket, this little collecting duct. It's called the cisterna chyli. And then that branches up through the thoracic cavity as we move up through with different lymph nodes. So these are the intercostals, a left and a right intercostal vessel here. That then goes up. Now, one thing I wanted to make note of here, if we hide the skeletal system, and let's hide the thymus for a second too. Hide. One unique thing we see here is this little collecting duct right in the middle. So this is the thoracic duct. This does not branch into both the left and the right side. There's no right side branch here. So although this one does collect to the cisterna chyli here, so this intercostal trunk here, it doesn't drain everything from the legs up. The legs are draining up this way. So your left side of the body drains your left side of your head, neck, arm, and all the way down through your legs. So there's an unequal proportion from the left and right side on the lymph system. And that's one reason why I'm showing this here, is to show where that separation happens. So most of the left side of your body and your legs and your hips all drain to the right side here. So if we were to add the veins in here, and I know it gets messy when we add all the veins, but I just want to show where this comes in. So right here is the jugular, and right here is the subclavian on the left side, and the lymph system collects right there at that branch between the jugular and the subclavian. So that's the left side. The right side, also the same thing. Right there is where the lymphatic duct comes in to that subclavian and jugular. So kind of neat how that works, how they drain in and go right back to the heart. So if we hide the veins now, just focus back on the lymph, we then drain the arms. So we have the different nodes here. You don't need to know this one, but this is a supratrochlear lymph node, and that tells me it's above the trochlea. If we were adding this skeletal system back in here, it's right up next to the trochlea where the ulna is. So there, all the names from the skeletal system come back to haunt you later. In here, we have the axillary lymph nodes, so lymph nodes of the armpit. And then this little branching network right here is the bronchomediastinal trunk. So getting the mediastinum region around the thoracic cavity here. And then there's also some deeper nodes down there for the deeper tracheal regions. You drain in the head down, you have your cervical lymph nodes in your neck. And then this model here also shows the palatine tonsils. Remember, tonsils are an important little organ of the lymph system as well. So if we add the skeletal system in there, you can see the palatine tonsils are in the back of the nasal pharynx region in there, or just in the back of the pharynx. So let's remove the skeletal system and work our way back down through. Another important organ of the lymphatic system is the thymus. Just want to show how it's located right in the mediastinum here. If we add the skeletal system right behind the manubrium in the body of the sternum. Also, if we add the heart in here, right above, right superior to the heart as well. So what is the thymus? The thymus is the important site for T cell maturation. There's no actual immune response in the thymus. It's just producing mature T cells and making them immunocompetent to release into the rest of the immune system. So this also kind of shows how it all flows up and where the lymph nodes go, how it goes under the clavicle here. So then drains into the subclavian. Last little organ I wanted to, so one thing this one doesn't show, it doesn't show Peyer's patches. We have to show digestive system. We don't see the Peyer's patches in the digestive system here, but we do see the appendix, which is an important part of the immune system. But then remember, in the distal end of the small intestine here, we also have those Peyer's patches in the ileum. So just as a little reminder there. And then also the last one here is the spleen. So the spleen right here, we can see the hilum of the spleen. So if I add arteries and veins in here, it makes it a little messier, but we can see how they all go into this hilum here. And these are the splenic arteries and the splenic veins. Remember, the spleen is pretty much a very large lymph node, but it also does a lot for blood proliferation, restoring the iron, and breaking down all your red blood cells when they need to be broken down. So it has white pulp and red pulp in it, but we can't see that on this model image here. So this is then just showing how this collection vessels work. I know it's not a super long lab video, but I just wanted to show how this all comes together for the lymphatic system here, where the lymph nodes are, how they're in these little pockets. And if the lymph nodes get swollen, you can see superficial lymph nodes swelling and enlargement. And if you have infection, you can actually see the lymph nodes forming red lines in your body. So I just wanted to show you that, since not everyone has access to this program, but things could be labeled on this for the practical. So definitely watch this and fill in your notebooks as you watch this. So I hope you all have a great day. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and bye-bye.